So good afternoon, one and all. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Where are these dreams? Do the youngsters have dreams? It is often found that our youngsters look for their higher education courses as and when they complete their boards. Then there is confusion, tension, and they chase after many conflicting options. The scientific process of attaining the unique areas of one's specialization should happen not just all on a sudden. We need to have a practice of identifying talents, evaluating skills, testing and researching in order to fix the courses and areas of higher education. This has to happen not after boards, but much early. Great teacher Confucius has said, choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. How to reach there and how to choose? Here we have a series named My Career, My Identity. We are not just going to give one-word solutions and optimal automated techniques for our lives. That is practically impossible for humans. The series, My Career, My Identity, is scheduled for every Sunday 4 p.m. at Benny Palati Vidum Vidyalayam YouTube channel. It will be dealing with various academic and professional areas. It speaks of specialized areas, its basic skills, the attitudes and abilities to be practiced to attain the unique dreams of life. This would be helpful for youngsters, not just to identify certain areas of work, courses, and institutions, but to know oneself, test the talents, and to research further on the specific sphere. It's planned to provide a 360-degree support and solution for career selection. My Career, My Identity is a journey with the youngsters, a platform for mutual support to know, to interact, to question, to test, to research, and to grow. Today, we have our deliberation and interaction on the latest developments of engineering. What is engineering? Word engineering comes from Latin root in generare, which means to create. It is the application of maths and science to create solutions for daily human needs. The function of a scientist is to know, while that of the engineer is to do. Scientists add to the store of verified, systematized knowledge of the physical world, and engineers bring this knowledge to bear on practical problems. Engineers figure out how things work and find practical uses for scientific discoveries. The vast area of engineering get novel phases and branches as humans and technology grow. So at every point of time, it's necessary to cross-check the relevance of every engineering course before we start. The industry, the needs, the technology are changing. So also the engineering courses. Here we have an expert from the field of engineering to share the latest developments and progress. Mr. Dane D. Thomas, Assistant Professor, Mechanical Engineering. He is also completing his doctoral studies. He is a person of passion, motivation, and sacrifice. Very much interested in promoting youngsters with vision and interest into the areas of expertise. Welcome, Mr. Dane D. Thomas. And we have a few youngsters to raise their concerns and to probe into the field. Welcome you all. A few directions. The language formula would be mostly in English. Still, the participants and the viewers can raise their questions in English, Hindi, or in Malayalam. This My Career, My Identity series have already scheduled 10 episodes that speaks directly from the professional fields and workspaces. It will help youngsters to know, interact, and choose the best career options in their lives. Subscribe this channel and follow the upcoming episodes. The participants can share their queries in the YouTube live comment box. It will be discussed as time permits. Dear youngsters, if you don't build your dream, someone will hire you to help build theirs. So be careful and be prepared. Welcome to one and all. Let's enjoy this session. Over to you, Mr. Dane.
Thank you, Father. Greetings to one and all. As Father has kindly put in his words about myself, yes, I am Dane D. Thomas. I am currently working as an assistant professor at the Department of Mechanical Engineering in Manav Rachna International Institute of Research and Studies, and I am currently pursuing my postdoctoral in industrial engineering itself from NIT Kurukshetra. So, as Father was saying that about this webinar series, and I am very grateful to Father for his guidance and his counseling for the students, because in when I was in my school days, I would really have appreciated such efforts, which would have encouraged me and led me to the path. But I am happy where I am right now, but I would wish that during my time I had such opportunities to learn and to grow and understand what is actually happening and what the future was holding for me. So when I'm talking about future, I'm talking about Industry 4.0, also known as the fourth revolution of industry. So what I am going to be talking about today is not something that is happening as of now. It is not what we are going to be facing right now, but it is something from our future. So we need to be prepared for the future, and we need to be prepared for Industry 4.0. So industry for I will be mentioning the engineering courses that or the skills students or aspirants must enhance themselves to be able to survive in the market for Industry 4.0. So first we will talk about what is Industry 4.0, or the fourth revolution of industry, fourth industrial revolution. Well, it was first termed by German government, and they were the first ones to come up with it. And it is an age where our smart devices right now, all of us have our smartphones. We have our smart devices, smart everything. We have smart refrigerators and we have smart TVs. So in a generation or in an age when everything is so smart and at your hand, how about controlling the manufacturing and distribution also in a smart way, which we call as the smart manufacturing? Now, Industry 4.0 is something you must understand is not something that meets your demands. It is Industry 4.0 is not meeting your demands, but it is creating demands. For example, back in 2006, none of us had heard of WhatsApp. WhatsApp was not there back then. And slowly we realized that something known as WhatsApp was so essential to us. Now it has become our basic messaging app. It has overtaken our basic messaging app, and now all our businesses and all our work is through WhatsApp now. So what did WhatsApp do? WhatsApp did not meet your demand. It generated a new demand. You already had your own messaging services from your Vodafones or Airtels or whatever may be your network. You already had the messaging services. WhatsApp was able to capitalize that, understand that, and create a whole new demand. And after WhatsApp, you had several other messaging apps that came up to compete with it. So that is Industry 4.0 is not something that is meeting your demand and giving a supply. It is actually creation of a demand. Now, Industry 4.0 or IR 4.0 has several areas that need to be worked on, such as robotics, artificial intelligence, industry, Internet of Things, cloud computing. They affect various sectors from manufacturing to healthcare to agriculture, transportation, waste management, governance, and including our environment. So Industry 4.0 is, again, I'm telling you, it is how the future asks us to use smart methods to start manufacturing. Okay. Are there any questions so far?
Sir, I just wanted to ask you, could you kindly brief us about what is Industry 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0?
That is a good question. See, Industry 4.0, as I mentioned, is the fourth revolution of industry. So the natural question is, what about the previous industrial revolutions? So let us start from the very first one. That is Industry 1.0, or also known as just the Industrial Revolution. It was the first one, so it is also known as just the Industrial Revolution. It was based on how the exploration of coal and using steam engine to perform all sorts of manufacturing works. So it is so we must have all seen movies and all where the steam engines were carrying all sorts of load all around the country. So that was when the industries started to use steam, coal, water, wind energy, water energy, dams, solar energy, and such several sorts of mechanical devices in order to meet the current demand. Industry 1.0 was meeting the current demand. It was not creating any demand. So then comes the second industrial revolution, that was during the 19th century. As as the industry 1.0 started to make several components. For example, in industry 1.0 we started to make the very first car. When we made the first car, everybody started to want a car. So when everybody wants to have a car, the industry 2.0 started making them in mass or in bulk. So we were making thousands and thousands of cars every day because there was a demand to be met at a very large scale. So the productivity of unskilled workers will be exploited to see the maximum emergence of mass production with identical products. So there was no scope of customization over here. So the fact that you must understand is Industry 1.0 and Industry 2.0, which is mass production, never really hit India. India was far away from Industry 1.0 and 2.0 due to the fact that we were colonies. And when I'm talking about industrial revolution, although you will say, okay, we had steam engines here, even when we were colonized, we had steam engines, but it does not mean that we were in the part of the industrial revolution. We were not, because industrial revolution talks about exchange of information. India was not giving back to the industrial revolution. All India was doing was taking it in because we were colonies. So when did we actually start becoming a part of industry 3? Industry was industry 3.0, during which there was introduction of electronics, computer technologies, IT especially, and India started to boom exponentially in IT, infrastructure, information technology. We were the source of every MNC. We had TCS, we had Infosys, we had all sorts of companies who wanted to take us as their particular employee. So that it was a period when robotics and mass production were also introduced. Now, as you can see in the diagram, the cars and all the components are not made manually, but with the help of robot, and it is automated. So Industry 3.0 is what that is currently going on. We are right now in the third revolution of industry. Now, so that is when the Germans decided to go a step ahead and started working towards Industry 4.0, which introduced cyber physical systems, where human intervention, us humans being involved, is very, very minimum. So this is the fourth revolution of industry, and this is what is working right now. Industry 3.0 is moving towards 4.0, and we have to move ourselves towards that direction. As you can see, we have to be familiar with smart manufacturing, mechatronics, robotics, rapid manufacturing, industry, Internet of Things, cloud computing, several things are there, which I'll be talking about later. So, this, as I was saying, Industry 4.0 is used to generate a demand. So, for example, such a case is of when we had our geo networks. Couple of years ago, Geo came with free plans for everyone. There was no such surprisingly demand for data. The data plans were, as every network was offering data plans, Geo came and gave us free data, giving us new set of demand. Geo created a new demand which was working towards digital. Now that will help all over the world because Geo offered free data, and now everyone who did not even want data packs in their phone started using data packs. Geo started giving free, so everybody wanted to take free, and everybody started buying Geo networks, which will help in the cause of Industry 4.0 when it comes to India. So, what Industry 4.0 will do is it starts to make mass production of customized goods. For example, whenever we go to a market, if I myself I'm a very tall person, so I am more than 6 feet tall. So whenever I go to the market, I find several clothes or shoes that are not fitting me. So my kind of products are not made because my the products are usually of the size of medium, large, or XL. So those are particular mass production products, whereas maybe I require double XL. So those are customized products. So Industry 4.0 will start producing in mass customized products so that it meets the worldwide demand and also generates a whole new set of demand. So as I was saying, this is a chart talking about how industry moved from zero, that was when mankind started, and it moved to how water, steam, and mechanical production came into the picture. Then in the industry 2.0, when electricity, that world had started finding oil resources, oil reserves, which made it made it much more successful, industry 2.0. Third revolution of industry was recognized with the introduction of sensors, actuators, information technology, automation. And now we are moving towards industry 4.0. So in order to summarize industry 4.0, there is a small video that I would like to play. I hope the video is everybody can watch it. Okay. So this is about Industry 4.0 summarized about the future. We are already in this age of everything with the smartphones, with our, I'm sorry, it got stuck. Yeah. So we are already in a current age of CCTV, Amazon, smartphones, and now we have credit cards which were not even required to swipe. You just use their chips, and it can directly detect it, and you can pay whatever you're paying for. So from there, we are working into a place when humans will be replaced by robots soon. And the robots will start doing human chores that which were not meant for them. So slowly and steadily, as you can see in the video, this person is making coffee at a coffee house. He's now been replaced by the robot who will do it on his own. So currently, Industry 4.0 is doing what it's working right now in industry is in the industry, everything is automated. This is a textile factory. It receives every information. As soon as the particular person orders for something which is customized, which is specific to that person. It is a custom order. He or she quickly receives it with the help of Industry 4.0. So the question is, what do you do? Where do you stand in this? So what will you do? Does this mean you will be laid off? Does this mean you are doing nothing? No, it means a whole new set of skills will be developed. You will have to be prepared with a whole new set of skills and knowledge, which will help you be aware and competitive when Industry 4.0 actually arrives. So as you can see, you need to be innovative. You need to be involved in everything. You need to be aware of what is happening around you. Also making sure that you are maintaining your ethics. So these are a few skills that you need to enhance. You need to have interpersonal skills. You need to be creative. You need to be problem solving, and you need to have innovative ideology. So this does not mean that the robots will or automation will take over everything. Human interface is still required. At the end of the day, not everything can be done by robots. Human interface will be required. You just have to make sure you are ready for it. This also means that several disciplines, various disciplines, mechanical, electronics, computers, all have to sit together and come up with new ideas, new technologies, new innovations, which can actually meet the particular demand. So this will make a way for a whole new set of job market. This is what I'm talking about 4 or 5 years down the line. These will be the skills that each and every graduate should possess. You need to be have as previously defined. These are the skills that you need to possess 4 or 5 years down the line. Why 4 or 5 years down the line? I will be explaining that later, because I will tell you where the global level is right now. So the graduates need to understand, along with experience, they tend to create a whole new spectrum. They will now. The question is, where do you fit into this picture? Where where are you when the industrial fourth revolution arrives? So this is a video that helps understand what Industry 4.0 is all about. So as I was saying, the industry it is an interdisciplinary. That means several portions of the industry come together and sit and they work together to implement Industry 4.0. So as you can see, there is robotics, there is simulation, there is integration, Internet of Things, augmented reality, additive manufacturing. I will be describing all of them. Don't worry if you want to know furthermore. So this is how we have to make sure that we communicate with the smart manufacturing, smart system, and the smart system communicates back with us. So far, are there any questions?
Sir, I would like to ask a question. The
Yeah.
question is, how will this Industry 4.0 implemented? Like, what will be the implementation ways?
The industry 4.0, there are three keys of implementation that are important. One is to digitize. Now right now we are all talking about digital India. That is because everything needs to be digitized soon enough to meet industry 4.0. With our large nation, it's not going to be that easy, but it is essential. So the whole aspect is that we digitize everything, every process, everything. No longer anything shall be in handwritten or in documents. Everything has to be digitized. Every program, every run thing we have make, it has to be completely automated. Now the next is the industries will have to industrialize. That means they have to integrate all their technologies to improve and evolve into becoming the next generation or into the next level. Next is third way of implementation of Industry 4.0 is through optimization. Optimization, what I mean by optimization is that we have to make sure that the industries are not throwing all their money into Industry 4.0 while having no profit whatsoever. So there should, and neither should it be that they, in order to extract maximum profit, we have minimum investment. No, we have to find a particular level or a range where investments are done and we gain profits accordingly. So as you can see in the diagram here, everything, all the robots, all the systems, all the automation, all the robots and the movements, everything is connected to a central Ethernet system that stores the data then and there. And as you can see, everything connected there, and all the workers are just sitting at their places and working accordingly. So this is how Industry 4.0 will be implemented in each and every industry. So this is our today's factory. So a car is being assembled in a particular workstation. So the car happens to move from workstation 1 to workstation 2, then to workstation 3, and then to workstation 4. This is what is happening right now. Each and every time the car works, moves forward, then it gets worked on, then moves forward. So that is our industry third revolution that is currently going on. So what happens in tomorrow's factory? Tomorrow, the factory, what it will do is it will have several workstations. Whichever workstation is complete or whichever work is pending, the particular raw material or the car chassis will move accordingly. As you can see, it does not go from workstation A, then to B, then to C. It is going from A to H, then to K, and then finally being assembled and sent to the customer. So that is the factory of tomorrow, or what I was calling Industrial Revolution 4.0. So that is how this is how it's going to be. So any questions so far?
Sir, I would like to ask a question. Sir,
Yes.
have any industries implemented Industry 4.0?
Currently, no. There are not many industries. Not everybody is on its way. Nobody has completely achieved Industry 4.0 completely. But I would like to show you a case study from Oracle. Oracle is a company well recognized by everyone. So in Oracle, what they have done is, as you can see in the video, this is they are currently, this is a particular solutions. They are not the ones who are manufacturing it. Oracle is not manufacturing it. They are creating solutions right now. So as the question was, that is Industry 4.0 completely being involved in any industry so far? So then it is not completely being done so far, because it requires mutual exchange of information from all technologies and all industries. But so far, for example, as you can see here, so the person is doing is she's coding the particular automated guided vehicle which carries the product from one. This is a robotic vehicle, also known as the automated guided vehicle, which carries the product from one workstation to another. Here the automated guided vehicle goes received the product from the inventory is where the products or the raw material is kept. It moves to the next workstation where the person is working on the product and assembling it. And at the same time, the vehicle is being monitored by a third person who is making sure it reaches its destination. So as you can see, this diagram will be clear. As you can see, the inventory is where the AGV or the automated guided vehicle goes, collects the particular product, then moves to assembly, then moves to rework. So now the product has reached the inventory. The inventor is keeping the product onto the vehicle. The vehicle reads the product, what has been kept in his stock. It reads that, okay, this is a mobile phone case. So it knows that it has to be assembled. There are two products. It goes into its system where it stores the data regarding what has been put on my product, and then the person and then it starts to organize itself to where it needs to go. Where does it need to go next from the inventory? So as it decides that it has received the product, the it goes from the inventory. So now as you can see, it moves from the inventory to the assembly, where the person will take out the product and start to assemble it. He will assemble it, and then the product is finished. If the product is completed at the assembly without any defects, it goes to the finished goods. But in case in case the AGV realizes that no, the AGV realizes no, there is something wrong with the product, the AGV will move towards rework, where the product will be worked again, and then the person will judge was what is wrong with it. If it is defective after reworking, if it is fine, if it works well after reworking, then good, it will go back to your finished goods. But in case it is not working, it is still there is some defect, then the product will be sent to the defective lot, where it will be kept. Now this was something that earlier humans used to do. What we used to do is we had conveyor belts, and each and every time we had to check if the product is fine or not. Now with the help of automation, this can be done on with the help of robots who will carry the product, realize if it is all right or not, and then it will move forward. So it this is how we have it in the AGV. So the whole aspect of automation and robotics was okay, got stuck. The whole aspect of automation and robotics was so that it may be able to minimize human effort. So Industry 4.0 is on its way. It is not entirely, but right now current skills do demand for more innovative ideas. Now, in order to make this setting entirely what do you call humanless interaction, it requires innovations. It requires innovative ideas from everyone. So the at the same time, as I was saying, there was the global readiness of all aspects here, and we have um, the global readiness here, Industry 4.0, as demanded by the Germans, were the first one to digitize it, to strategize it, and then based on that, efforts were made, and that is how we realized that this is where we are intended to be. So, as you can see, Germans were the first one to start the interaction digital strategy of 2025. Then USA started coming up with several other innovative ways and other methods. And then we had the manufacturing technologies that were making global and globally competitive. Now, the Chinese government aimed to implement Made in China in 2025 and Industry 4.0 initiatives simultaneously. Now, Made in China was an aspect first described by the first described by 4.0, and as I was saying, India right now hold the post of Make in India. We right now have a concepts of Make in India, but it was actually China who came up with it first, known as Made in China. So there were several levels of how it has to be worked on. Now, even countries like Philippines, Vietnam, Sri Lanka are moving to Industry 4.0. So any questions? So
Sir, you just told us about the global readiness, and we understood that properly. But, sir, how ready is India to take the initiative for Industry 4.0?
yeah, that is a good question. So this is the global readiness I have talked about. See, in countries, as I was saying, in countries like Philippines, Vietnam, and Sri Lanka are moving towards Industry 4.0. So even these small countries are moving to fourth revolution of industry. Why? Because these countries have a very large number of unskilled labor and very cheap unskilled labor. So as you can see, even in India, we have a lot of unskilled labor, which is cheap. So train them, if we just train them, we can move towards Industry 4.0. So so the question is, how ready is India? How ready is India right now? So in India, we were not, as I was previously mentioned, we were not active or performing in the first two industrial revolutions, majorly because of we being a colony. And by the third revolution, we had access to the technology, globalization had come in, and India was able to access everything. with the help of information technology. So according to this particular stats shows that we are now ranked sixth among the top 10 largest manufacturing countries. So so we require to have Industry 4.0, which will help us become better, which will reduce waste, which will make the environment better. When we reduce waste, obviously the environment gets better. And then we have other that we our products have become more accuracy, we have better quality products, standards are increased. So we have particular set of ambition target, we have kept it. So as you can see, according to the IBF, Government of India has set an ambitious target of increasing the contribution of manufacturing output to 25% of the GDP by 2025. As you can see, 2025 is a very crucial year for everyone. Previously, I had mentioned China also was sitting at China Made in China 2025. Germany is also sitting at Digital Strategy 2025. That is, we are right now in 2020, that is 5 years from now. Everybody is talking about 2025 because everybody aims to achieve Industry 4.0 by then. So India, as an effort, made its first smart factory, moving from automation to autonomy, where the machines speak with each other. Information is exchanged among each other, which is being set up in Bangalore. It is make it is with making progress with IISc, Center of Product Design and Manufacturing, and investment from the Boeing company, which we are very well aware of. So a smart factory armed with data exchange in manufacturing is the future. Now, there was a survey done back in 2013 about Network Readiness Index, which means how ready are we to have information stored and exchanged at a very high level. You must remember, we are a country, huge country. We have a huge population. How do you make sure that we have network readiness completely? So back in 2013, India ranked 61 according to this survey. And back then in 2016, our rank dropped to 91 because several new countries were included in this survey. Now, in the last survey in 2019, we ranked above to 44 because of our initiatives such as Make in India, Digital India, and Green Energy Corridor, which helped us digitalize throughout. We were able to digitize. That is why our countries our government is are emphasized on digitizing everything that we have. So any questions so far?
Sir, I have a question that I would like to ask.
Yeah.
What are the skill set we should be prepared with Industry 4.0?
Yeah, so for Industry 4.0, as now that we are familiar how it is going to reach India, these are the skill sets that we need to be familiar with. We need to be familiar with robotics, simulation, mechatronics, industrial and Internet of Things, cyber security, additive manufacturing, augmented reality, big data analytics. So these are several such things that we need to be ready with by when we have Industry 4.0 coming into the picture. Now, so as we will start talking about these particular courses or skills. First one is the big data. Everybody has heard that all our data is being stored some place or the other. You all get random calls from random service industries. Now you must have imagined where they got your phone numbers from. That is all a part of big data that has been storing your data. Now, right now, when I'm talking about data, I do not mean handwritten data. I'm talking about data held in the clouds. Now, that data has to be somewhere kept and stored and being analyzed. Now, for example, when you are going on to Amazon or Flipkart, you're looking over a book. You find a very interesting book and you wish to buy it, but you do not purchase it. You exit it. Later in your phone, when you're looking through Facebook, you find an ad of the same book on your Facebook page. Now, see the difference that has happened with some of you, I'm pretty sure. And you must have seen that I was looking at it on my laptop, but when I'm on my phone, there is an ad for the same book or for the same item that I was looking for. So that is how big data works. Everything is stored somewhere, and the the way it is stored, or how do we make sure that is also industry uses the same concept of introducing data into the picture, and with the help of that they are able to integrate it, and they are able to analyze it, and then with the help of that they will be able to further study it and implement their plan of manufacturing. So big data is one of the courses that you should keep your eye out. Next is we have cloud computing. So which is several colleges will offer you BTech in computer science with specialization in cloud computing. Now what happens in cloud computing is we all use iPhones. We all are very much familiar with what a cloud is, and with the applications, their remote sensing. See, if we are able to find our iPhone wherever it is with certain data. So that is all with the help of cloud. So since I am a mechanical engineer, I might not be very much familiar with cloud computing, but that is another area that you should keep your eye out. Another one of them is Internet of Things. Now, if devices, you must have heard of devices such as Fitbit, which can read your heartbeats and pulse rate. Now, and then send that data onto your phone, or or your relative's phone, or your parents' phone. So that is all a part of Internet of Things. Now, in Internet of Things, must have heard of air conditioners that have Wi-Fi and that are connected to your phone. You have fridge that is connected to the Wi-Fi and then connected to your phone. Now, do you now think about it? Do you actually need a fridge that connects to your Wi-Fi? No, you do not need a fridge that connects to your Wi-Fi. What is the purpose of what you had was a fridge that needs to keep your food cool and cold and fresh. That is the whole aspect of a fridge. Now you have a fridge that is connected to your Wi-Fi and keeps updating you how fresh your food is. So is that actually a necessity? No, it is not a necessity. But what it did was it created that demand, and now you want a fridge that is connected to your Wi-Fi. The irony is that you want a fridge that is connected to your Wi-Fi. When you look at your AC can be controlled with your phone. The AC's whole aspect of an AC was to make sure your room is cool and you're comfortable. Now, the fact that an AC is connected to your Wi-Fi does not enhance its performance. It does not make cooling efficient. It does not reduce electricity bill. What reduces your electricity bill? That if you use it, the compressor, if there's a right compressor, the electricity bill will be reduced. And if there's a proper functioning, there's no leakages, you have a proper performing AC. But now with the help of with a Wi-Fi, you are able to connect your phone to your AC. You can switch it off from anywhere. So those are not necessities, but that is what Internet of Things does. Internet of Things connects all to a certain point. For example, your Wi-Fi. Now to your Wi-Fi, and then you can control and monitor it wherever you want. So that is another course you should be interested in. Now, another one is cybersecurity. Now, as I've said, all your data is being uploaded on cloud. All your data is available to somewhere, or somewhere it is available. You get random calls. Now, that has to be protected. You need to protect it. You need to secure it. You need to have a firewall. All your big companies, industries, they all have cybersecurities. They have cybersecurity cells that protect their data. So that is another course you should be aware and keep an eye out. Another one is simulation. Now, simulation is not something you will get as a BTech course, but it is included in BTech in mechanical engineering. Now, what simulation does is you do not have the time to actually test a product. Now, if suppose if you have a car and you want to know how if at what speed a car will have an accident and then damage itself completely, you cannot actually build a car and then hit it into a wall. No, you need require some computerized way to look at it. So that is what simulation does. It implements much quicker and reduces cost and reduces the time the car has to reach the market. So this is a part which is included in mechanical engineering. Another one is autonomous robots. Now, robotics is something everybody has heard of. Robots is the new and upcoming thing. Everywhere you have several malls that have robots that help you guide. Robots have much more intricacy. They are able to do minor jobs and micro level jobs they were able to do. So BTechs in robotics and automation is available in several colleges. You should also have a look at that. Now, the another skill is the additive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing you must have not heard, but you must have all heard of 3D printing. Hope you have all heard of 3D printing. So what it does is it creates you put it on a laptop, and the laptop is attached to a 3D printer. You design whatever you want to make, and it makes it then and there. Now, additive manufacturing was only used to make prototypes. It was never used to make the final product. It was only used to make a prototype and then show it, okay, this is how the product will look like at the end of the day after it is done build. So it only makes a prototype. But what Industry 4.0 is going to do is it is going to use 3D printing into making products at a mass level. So now the whole your whole industry is changing so rapidly because 3D printing is so expensive. But Industry 4.0 is going to make it so cheap that you can make the product at home or make the product a customized product. As I was previously saying, there are some customized products that are not available to everyone. Some people have some certain problems in their legs, so they need customized shoes that fit because of their medical problems. So now it can make those customized products in bulks and in volumes. So again, there is no particular BTech into it, but there is BTech in mechanical engineering that familiarizes you with additive manufacturing, also known as rapid prototyping. So any questions?
Sir, I have a question. Which course would you recommend for us students interested in engineering to prepare us for Industry 4.0?
Okay, that is a good question. So now I have offered you several courses. Now you can't just look at them as courses. You will have to look at them as skills. They are a set of skills that you need to be enhanced with. So my personal recommendation to you students is not something that is pathar ki lakeer nahi hai, so that you have to follow it. But it is my personal recommendation is BTech is mechatronics engineering. Now, what happens is mechatronics engineering it is a combination of electronics, mechanicals, and certain subjects of computer science. Now, this prepares you for Industry 4.0 like no other course or skill does. You have BTech in mechatronics and you have BTech in mechanical with specialization in mechatronics. Now, what happens here is, for example, as I was saying, in the year 2025 is what Germany, China, India are all aiming at. For example, there is an industry in 2025. It has reached Industry 4.0, or it is at least trying to achieve Industry 4.0. It requires a mechanical engineer. It requires an engineer who is familiar with computer science, also known as your software engineer, and it requires an electronics engineer as well, so that it can do all those things, all those skills that I have previously mentioned. Now what happens is the industry has to hire 3 people to do certain jobs. Now what if there is a mechatronics engineer who comes up, so a mechatronics engineer is able to do all these 3 things. So what the industry will do, instead of hiring 3 people, it may hire 1 or maybe 2 people who do the same job. Now where do you stand in this picture is what I'm talking about. My entire webinar, my entire talk is about where do you actually stand here. So is this clear to everyone? Are there any questions?
Yes, sir, I have a question. So,
Yeah.
what is the difference between BTech in mechatronics and BTech in mechatronics with specialization? BTech in mechanical with specialization in mechatronics.
Okay, yes. So like BTech in mechatronics and BTech in mechanical with specialized in mechatronics. So previously, I had also showed you BTech in computer science and BTech in computer science with specialization in cloud computing, cyber security, Internet of Things. Now, the difference between mechatronics and mechanical with mechatronics is in mechatronics, your entire curriculum, your entire syllabus will be focused just on mechatronics. It will be just focused on mechatronics. You have they will remove several subjects from mechanical and give you subjects from electrical, computer science, and mechanical, all of them. Now, what happens in BTech in mechanical with specialization in mechatronics is your current curriculum will be your what you will be studying. The basis or the foundation will be mechanical, and then there will be additional subjects. You will have to study additional subjects which will involve electronics and computer science. So what happens here is, from if you want to apply for a government job in the future, if you want to apply for a government job in the future, your ONGC, your BHEL, they all want BTech mechanical engineers. They do not ask for mechatronic engineers. They happen to ask for mechanical engineers. So in those case, if you do a BTech in mechanical with specialization in mechatronics, you are eligible for a government job that is asking for a mechanical engineer, and you're also eligible and ready for industry 4.0. This is a course that prepares you for both. I'm not saying BTech in mechatronics is bad. It is good. In the future, there might be government jobs coming up in BTech and mechatronics as well. As of now, there aren't, but in the future, they might just be. So whenever you give exams after you're done with your engineering, at the end you might have to give an exam called as gate exams are always there that prepare you for that send you for your government exams, sorry, government jobs. So I don't know, 4 years from the down the line gate will be there or something else will come up, but as of now there is gate, and gate is for mechanical engineers and there is no gate for mechatronics engineers. So that is a major difference. Any other questions here?
Sir, how can we decide which engineering course is applicable and best suited for us? Or what specific skills do we require to cope up with a specific course?
Okay, so this is in general. So so in engineering courses are of majorly of two categories. You first need to understand engineering courses. There are two categories that you need to be familiar with. One is your core engineering courses. In core, you have your core, the ones that were already in foundation, that is mechanical, civil, electrical. Computer science is a sort of a core and core come allied course. It is a mixture of both. But let us consider for core for the 21st century. And then we have the chemical engineering. These are all your core subjects. And then we have your allied engineering courses such as automobile engineering, aeronautical, electronics and communication, robotics, automation. So these allied courses are for students who want to do engineering and have an innovative and creative ideas. So now as an engineer, if you are already creative, you're innovative, and you are very good at physics and mathematics especially, they will be excelling in allied engineering courses. Except for biomedical is for students who are good in biology and still want to do engineering. Biomedical is a very promising field in the end of the day. So these are, but if you suppose you are an average student, you have done average, you do not have any particular interest in say mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, you're average in all. There are certain students who do equally well in all their subjects. They're all like they all get 70s in all their subjects, but then there are certain students who get 90s in physics and maths, for example, and then they don't score well in chemistry. So, though in such cases, you should look into allied engineering courses that will be working on what you are good at. If you are good at physics, then electronics and communication is good. If you are good in suppose physics and mathematics, you should go for mechatronics. You should go for robotics. Whatever is your interest in. If suppose you're good in, suppose you're good in uh, computer science and physics, but you're not good in mathematics, you should opt for electronics and communication, which will be perfect for you. If you're good in say physics and mathematics, you should go for mechanical engineering. If you're poor in computer science, you should go for mechanical civil. So there are certain based on your skills that you can enhance and you can meet the particular courses. Any other questions? Okay, let's continue. So another thing is with problem. See, when I was talking about allied engineering courses, the particular um, when I'm talking about allied engineering courses, you need to have a problem solving, innovative attitude, and based on that, you can understand what has happened. And now, as I was previously mentioning, if you're interested in doing engineering and you are an average student, I suggest you take core engineering courses. So as you slowly develop interest in this, you can go for government jobs. Now, your government jobs as of today are all based into core engineering courses. They're all into core engineering courses, and they're not there. You will not very few jobs you will find in automobile or electronics and communication, but all your major government jobs are in core engineering courses. Now that you have so these courses are what guide you and lay your foundation. Now, as I was saying, if you want to do some sort of specialization, now if you are interested after hearing this webinar, you're interested in towards industry 4.0. Suppose you now, okay, after this webinar, end of this session, you realize that yes, industry 4.0 seems very promising and I should study upon that. So now what you want to do is but you are an average student, but you want to do something about industry 4.0. What you do is you take one of these core engineering courses and take specialization of any of these cyber security, cloud computing, mechatronics. You can take specializations of these. You will find plenty of colleges, including my own, that offers such specializations. So you can go into these specializations and be ready when industry 4.0 comes. Yes, there is an extra effort that you will have to give into this, but it is something that you need to be prepared with. Now, as I was saying, previously I had mentioned that you need to evolve yourself. You have to come up, you have to raise your level, you have to get better at whatever you are. Now, this is something, an important line that I would like to share with all. See, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn, then unlearn, and then relearn. You must have heard many of your relatives or neighbors who lost their jobs during this COVID. Many of them lost jobs and now they're struggling to find new jobs anywhere. It is because we never learned the generation before us never learned to relearn themselves. They were entirely during the industrial 3.0 revolution. Some of them were skilled labor, some of them were accountants. They made ledgers and and then later on computers came into the picture. They had to make everything into Excel files. Now, our parents or your parents, our parents will not be familiar with using Excel files. So they had to be laid off. New young generation people were brought in because they were familiar with Excel. They did courses on Excel. They did courses on MS Excel, and that is why the previous generation got laid off. Now, that is what I'm talking about. It does not, right now, if you're talking about engineering, any field it may it be computer science, may it be electronics, may it be mechanical, there might come a time when you are working, you get a job, you are working on a particular industry, you are in a manufacturing, you're making products, the same product day in and day out. You go to your job, you make a product, you come back home. After some days that product is obsolete, nobody wants that product. What do you do then? You have to be prepared to relearn something new and re-enhance your skills. As you can see, there's this robot who is picking up, changing the chance into change. If there is a chance for you, then do change according to the time. In the new world, it is not the big fish that eats the small fish, but it is the fast fish which eats the slow fish. So you have to be fast, you have to be competitive. So there is, you do not see now. I don't want students to be worrying. I don't want students to feel the pressure. If there are any students or parents that are listening to this lecture, I want to tell you one thing, that the market, the several years from now, today or 20 years from now, always appreciates skilled labor. It will always appreciate skilled labor. There will always be jobs for skilled labor. No matter what your skill is, you will definitely get a job. All you need to do is end of your graduation, make sure you are good at some particular skill. Now, as a mechanical engineer, you do not expect the mechanical engineer to be good in everything. He cannot. You cannot have a mechanical engineer if your brother or your sister or your relatives are doing mechanical engineer. You will not expect them to come home and fix your fan. No, that is not his job. He because he might be a design engineer. He probably makes fan on his laptop or with the help of softwares. So the aspect here is that you need to understand that there is no pressure. You just need to make sure you are familiar with one skill or two skills and make yourself a guru in it. You have to be so good at it that jobs will come looking for you. You do not have to go anywhere. Okay. Any more questions?
Sir, can I ask a question to you?
Yeah.
The question that I have is, we have to be skilled like for this industry, for the arrival of this industry, right? So industrial revolution. So what about the population who are not able to access these education to uh, acquire these skills, and they are dependent on the handicrafts or these small cottage industries, the rural population of the countries? So what will be their status or their role in this revolution?
See, the Industry 4.0 in this revolution deals majorly with the MNCs. Now, when we talk about handicrafts and the small level, they all come into the MSMEs, medium small enterprises, micro enterprises. So they all include cottage and cottage industries. Now, in order to be a part of Industry 4.0, you only can have big short companies like Reliance or Tata's or even any upcoming companies that can Birlas and who actually have the investment to completely automate themselves. The handicraft industry will be running simultaneously on one section, and the Industry 4.0 will simultaneously. So that is a major problem that India will be facing. It will be definitely facing. So that is a problem that India will definitely. You cannot expect someone who has not even cleared his 12th class and he makes perfectly good handicrafts to come up and work with robots. No, that is not at all possible, and especially in our country. But that is the whole aspect. So right now, the entire work or the entire effort is moving towards making sure that each and every one who can be trained is trained. So whoever they can able. So that is why colleges have been given permission to come up with these new courses. 4 years, 5 years down before, you might not have heard a single one of these courses. There was no cloud computing, there was no cyber security. Not even government colleges had been running these courses. Nobody was running these courses because now government wants to teach students like you and everyone that to be trained accordingly and to go towards the direction. See, whether just go with the direction of Industry 4.0, they will train you, and then with the help of the handicrafts and the ones who are doing small businesses and all, they will have to do change them. They will have to train them accordingly. Maybe give them a whole new role. That is a indefinite picture which even I cannot predict from 4 to 5 years from now. But at the same, currently, I feel that India has to run both of them simultaneously. Anyone
Uh,
else?
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Any other questions?
Sir, I would
Yeah.
like to ask a question. Sir, can you tell me something about artificial intelligence. It's a new course introduced, I guess.
Yeah, artificial intelligence or AI, as you have heard, is all part of the computer science project, where they will be interfacing all sorts of human intelligence. Now, that is a portion. For example, artificial intelligence comes up like if you go into a hotel, if you're going into a hotel, and the receptionist over there in the hotel who takes all your identity is a robot or a speaker, like all of us. So that is a very far off picture from now, because you cannot completely trust a robot to do human interface. So right now, if you are in a class, see, now I'm a assistant professor, I teach students. Tomorrow a robot cannot come and teach students. It requires human interface. So artificial intelligence is the day and age when I am replaced by a robot. A teacher, when you go to a school, a robot is taking classes. So that is a course which is promising. It is upcoming, but and it is important in 4.0, but I do not see it happening anytime soon. But yes, as a separate skill or a passion, you should definitely follow artificial intelligence as a separate skill. So that is why I did not put artificial intelligence in as one of the courses, because that is a point, and that is a gray area for me. I'm not completely entitled to it. I do not believe in it to be an essential part of fourth revolution of industry, but I do think it is coming up and coming somewhere.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Okay, so if there are no more questions, I would like to conclude the session. And after the conclusion, if you have any more questions, I will ask once more. So there is this thing when students are facing the problem on how to choose the particular college or engineering that they need to do. Now, now you have in Delhi itself, there are so many colleges. You are not familiar what to take, which college will be good enough for me. So I would like to tell you, if there are any parents or parents also listening, that please do not take any pressure on how to choose a college for your student. There are a couple of things that you need to uh, prioritize. For example, first thing is, if you are eligible. So if you are eligible for a government college like IITs or NITs, excellent, very good. Those are one of the best in our country. So I myself, I am currently in an NIT, and I feel very proud of it, because the state of art technology they have cannot be matched by any private. There may be a few private colleges might be matching it, but IITs and NITs are your should be your first choice. Now, in IITs and NITs, the same courses are being run everywhere. So it is not so. If you want to choose which IIT, NIT, I say just go for the one that is closest to your house, where commuting is easy, and which is has a higher ranking. Now, how do you recognize the ranking of a particular IIT, NIT? So there is a one ranking that is established and trustworthy, is known as the NIRF ranking. You can Google it, you can find it, and based on that ranking you can identify which particular college is best. So each year they have a ranking. Every college is being surveyed and then identified and then put into that ranking. That is a ranking you can actually trust. All other rankings you must have seen while looking for a college, you must have found 100 different rankings, where each college sometimes is at 40, sometimes is at 1, and you're not familiar what is going on. As a student, just look at NIRF. It will answer all your questions about which ranking with it. Now another thing is fees. Now the major problem is most of your colleges have heavy fees. Now, in universities, fees is high, but universities provide opportunities and facilities like no college. Colleges, institutes do not provide facilities. Universities provide facilities at their own end. So you need to recognize the difference. If you have the budget, go for a university. If you don't, if it is hard, then I prefer take a college, complete your engineering, and then look for a job accordingly. Now, another thing is that while choosing a college, the if you want to choose a college among private, if in the private, if you want to realize, okay, now there was a time when there were so many colleges that came up, her every nukhe kone mein college. That was a very bad time when there were colleges all over the place. When even in small areas, they would erect a college. Now you would wonder if this college is good or not. So the way to recognize a college good or not is their accreditations. AICT has accreditates colleges. There are a couple of accreditations that you should know. There is NAC, NAAC, NAC, and then there is NBA. Those are particular accreditations. Now those accreditations will soon go away, and then UGC will have its own accreditation because they have changed the education policy. So right now, if you're looking into colleges, make sure they are NAC and NBA accredited. Now, when I'm talking about NBA accreditation, in MBA accreditation, not what happens is uh, what happens is the college बड़े अक्षरों में they just write NBA accreditation. NBA accreditation is not given to a college; it is given to a particular course. It will be given to like electrical engineering, computer science engineering, mechanical engineering. It might not be given to a fourth engineering course. So make sure you, when they say that this college is NBA accredited, ask which course is NBA accredited. And if you want to check, you can check on the NBA's website. They will tell you in detail which course is accredited for NBA. Now, NBA accreditation and NAC accreditation are recognized accreditations of the government. They help you get jobs or placements or PRs, permanent residencies abroad. Not only in India, NBA accredited courses get you jobs abroad. So make sure that the colleges that you're going for have these following accreditations. So this will help you understand which college beats which college. Now, in the end of the day, or infrastructure wise, pretty much all well renowned colleges around in and out of Delhi are almost the same. Like we say, 19-20 ka farak hai. So almost the same. So how do you recognize which one to go? Their placements are the same. Everybody has placements. Everybody has all sorts of infrastructure. Everybody has labs, libraries, all sorts of. Look for colleges close to you. You don't want to travel 1.5 hour to go to a college that is very far off. Look for the colleges close to you. If you want, if you're finding a very good college outside, most of our colleges, most of the students, Kerala students tend to migrate south. Most of us do, and that is not a problem. South colleges are very well renowned. So just go through the accreditations, just go through your college's website, just look at what all have they done with the government, their fundings, their receivings, their DST projects, everything. It will give you a clear picture of what is how good your college is. So in the end of the day, as I have said, you do not need to. Okay, anyone, any questions by the way before I conclude? Okay, no. So okay, so I'd like to conclude my session by saying that please don't be worried. I've seen students taking stresses over what course to take, what not to take, parents taking double the stress what their student. I'm telling you, enhance your skill. Whatever course you take, just enhance a skill. Market uh, respects skill. Market इज्जत करता है skill की. Every skill is respected by a market. Every course. You do not have to go to mainstream courses. Follow everybody. Take, like in computer science, you will find hundreds and hundreds of engineers coming out each and every year. So it's not necessary to follow that. You can have your own opinion. If possible, go for higher studies as well. Having another graduation will not be any problem. Most of you want, if you want to drop a year and then perform, that is also comfortable, that is also fine. But at the end of the day, please don't feel pressurized. There is nothing out there to be pressurized. Everything is cool and calm. You just need work on a skill, enhance it, work on that, and end of the day you will be absolutely fine. 4 years from now, 5 years from now, when you're finished your graduation, you will all realize what were these 4 years? They were nothing. Just focus on a particular skill during the 4 years, identify your strength. In the 4 years, all you need to do is identify your strength, maybe design, maybe manufacturing, maybe coding, maybe maintenance, anything it may be. Just identify your strength and work on that. You will definitely perform and excel well. There is no pressure of no sorts. It is only for people who do not understand their strength. So, and at the same time, if possible, be interdisciplinary. That means if you are a computer science engineer, learn something about electronics. If you're an electronics engineer, learn something about mechanical. If you're a mechanical engineer, learn little Java, little programming here and there. Learn something other than your branch. Try and be interdisciplinary. There are hundreds of courses online right now. COVID, you must have noticed during the COVID time, the courses are immense. Everyone is offering courses here, left, right, and center. So there is no shortage of course. Perform on your skills, be relaxed. If you have any hobbies, maintain them. Don't let go of your hobbies, maintain them. Focus on your studies at the same time. Too much focus is also not good, but try your best. So thank you all for listening to me so patiently. I hope the session was well. And if there are any more doubts, you can always contact me. My email ID was at the starting of the PPT. I would leave it there. So my email ID is mentioned at the bottom. If you have any contacts, you can contact me or you can contact Father. Father will approach me accordingly. Thank you all. I hope and all the best for all your endeavors, everybody.
Okay, a word of thanks. Thanks means I was just listening every word Mr. Dane was giving, and as a student of 2025 to 2050, Dane was speaking to that individual. It was a blessing, and Mr. Dane has covered in its so-called complete details everything of engineering. And one thing, he helped, no doubt, already almost 200 people have watched the program, and also surely people will again come to it. This session helped to prepare the youngsters equipped for Industry 4.0. And usually the career guidance sessions, I say, cheat or trap the youngsters, directing them to one particular institute, one particular course. That is the orientation of career guidance mostly available in the market. But here, this is all the viewers, youngsters also should recognize, identify. Dane was speaking not about courses, even not about, I say, about engineering, but was persons, individual, their skills, and how to enhance that skill and so-called strengthen them. It's a different route. It is not about careers, but about the individual. This is the route that we need to travel. What are my? What is my strengths? What are my skills? I need to, okay. And he was confirming that any individual with any particular skill is valid and apt for the Industry 4.0. The thing is, I need to work with my skill. I need to enhance them and strengthen them. Only then, sure. That was the route. I really congratulate and thank Mr. Dane and also the youngsters. Surely many people will again watch this program because it is comprehensive and it deals with the individual, the skills, and the skills for the future, especially for the 2025 and 2050. I mean, that way, it's very looking forward, integral, very much thankful for Mr. Dane and also the participant and also the people, almost 150 plus have watched. All the people surely will again come to visit and understand it further. So to everyone, a big thanks, and very especially to Mr. Dane. And I know both Mr. Dane and his parents, they are very much dedicated to the future of the society. Mr. Thomas, very much close to me. He was with International Radio and contributed much, and always a award winner. I think for almost 10 times in India, he has got international awards from the President of India. Anyway, I thank Mr. Dane, and also pray for the youngsters and their future. I again repeat one word which I have taught in the beginning. If you don't build your dream, someone will hire you to help build theirs. So be careful. Also, be what you are. Enhance the skills which God has given you. Also strengthen them and be prepared. Be equipped for Industry 4.0. Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Mr. Dane.
Thank you,
Okay.
Father.
Yeah. Okay. So every week we will have one or the other similar sessions. So please do join. Plan to have at least 10 episodes in this series of varied disciplines. That will be surely helpful, and also not so-called career guidance which is leading to particular institute or course. No, it is to lead the individuals to understand them and to enhance them and to strengthen them for the future. So thanks for everyone, and in a very special way to Mr. Dane. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye.